Back here at Fort Lupton with Kevin Rohde, this is Brian Nickel. We'll give you the starting offensive lineup for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. The starting lineup is brought to you by Cargill Beef. Cargill Beef is committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and continuously improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at www.cargill.com. So tonight for the Fort Morgan Mustangs, starting at quarterback is senior Joey Snyder. Tight end Austin Cosman, also a senior. Senior tight end Eric Kimball. Sophomore running back Tate Kimball. Senior wide receiver Eric Fluoff. Junior fullback Toby McBride. Offensive lineman Bladen Pollitt, also a senior. Sophomore Eric Carrillo, offensive line. Offensive lineman Junior Alexander Mai. Senior offensive lineman Trevor Gherkin. And also senior offensive lineman Jesus Ibarra. So the Fort Morgan Mustangs, I believe, have 19 seniors on their roster this year. It'll be their last regular season game, and should be going on to play at least one more game, and hopefully more than that as the postseason starts to unfold here.
And I think Joey Snyder probably dreamed as a freshman and maybe even 7th and 8th grade of what it would be like his senior year. And, you know, his dreams have somewhat come true. They're making the playoffs, and he's having a great season. He's playing smart. He's got great running backs that allow him to have more time because everyone has to respect the run. Gives him time in the backfield to pass. And he's come a long way, and I think Fort Morgan should be very proud of that young man as he plays his last regular season and looks forward to the playoffs.
Yeah, he sits fifth in the league standings with 749 passing yards. Tate Kimball in rushing yards is at 877, needs 123 to get to the 1,000-yard mark. Total points, Tate Kimball is tied in first place with Joshua Clausen at 108. Toby McBride is fourth with 86 points.
And we know Tate Kimball can get those 123 in 3 plays. If you were at the game last week, you saw that 160-some yards in 3 plays. I don't expect that to happen tonight. That was somewhat of an anomaly. Not that he's not a good runner, but you know they were selling out and putting all 11 guys up the line, and when he broke through, there was no one there that was there to catch him.
So I did not see about the toss. It looks like Fort Morgan is going to kick off. I see Franny Gonzalez out there. I picked him out with his orange shoes out there. So,
right, I was going to say you can always pick out the kickers. They're the guys with the orange shoes. And what a kicker he has been. What a great addition to the program. And we've talked all season long about the 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. Fort Morgan continues to really do well in all 3 of those phases. I think all 3 of those would have to be graded at A or above on the season.
And Franny's only a junior, so we'll have him for at least we'll have him for one more year, not at least one more year, but at least one more year. So they're getting ready to kick off here. The opening kickoff is brought to you by Ingmar Phillips Insurance with 2 locations in Brush and Fort Morgan. Ingmar Phillips can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or needs. So clock set at 12 minutes, ready to go as Fort Morgan has the ball teed up at the 40. Franny Gonzalez approaches, a nice deep kick. It's going to be taken about the 5, across the 10, the 15, and it's going to be taken down at about the 15-yard line. So that'll be a 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line as Fort Lupton sends their offense out onto the field.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to have a little chance of a return there because he caught it at about the 3, and boy, those Fort Morgan kids were down there quick to get on him, and he didn't have a chance.
So defense on the field for the Mustangs. Single back for Fort Lupton as they try to run it up the middle, and nothing up the middle as Toby McBride and Eric Kimball in on the stop for a no gain. So that will be 2nd and 10 from the 15 for Fort Lupton. And Fort Lupton likes to run the ball, so we'll see what they come up with here. Have a real tight formation, like I formation for Fort Lupton. No wide receivers. Going to be a handoff over the left side and going to be stopped again by the Mustangs. And also again for no gain. So 3rd and 10 from the 15 as the Fort Morgan defense is stopping the Fort Lupton offense right in their tracks at the line of scrimmage. So Fort Morgan winning that battle of the lines here. So we'll see what they come out with. Also a tight formation, single back for Fort Lupton. As they hand it off up the middle and gets a couple of yards. They'll take it out about to the 19, I believe, is about where it's going to be. So that'll bring up a 4th down and 6 after the run up the middle. Looks like it's at about the 19-yard line. So 4th and 6 from the 19 for Fort Lupton. We have Tate Kimball and Kyle Daniels at midfield, waiting for the punt from Fort Lupton. Snap back, nice snap. Almost blocked off to the right. Kyle Daniels takes it in and is tackled immediately, but in good field position for Fort Morgan as they will mark it at the Fort Lupton. See where they're going to put it at about the 43-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs from the 43.
I'm having a hard time picking up Fort Lupton's numbers, and I think part of that is that they've changed some numbers. So I see a 44 out there, and there isn't a 44. Oh, wait, there is a 44 on there, the junior running back.
So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. 2 receivers right, 2 left with a single back and shotgun formation for Snyder. He rolls out to his right, looks out here to the flat, and it's going to be to Eric Kimball at the 40, down to the 30, and still going. It hasn't gone out of bounds yet, and finally taken down. And that will be for a 1st down as he goes out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. So nice strong running there by Kimball once he received the ball. So Fort Morgan coming right out with a no huddle. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Kyle Daniels goes in motion right to left, but we have a flag on the play. And we will see if Fort Lupton moved or if Fort Morgan jumped. It's on Fort Morgan, so that will bring up a 1st and 15. So those are some of the little things that Coach Harrison Chisholm was talking about that they need to clean up before moving on any farther.
Absolutely.
So now 1st and 15 from the 32. Daniels in motion once again. Schneider going to throw it out into the flat to Daniels. He gets it and breaks a tackle at the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, and Kyle Daniels into the end zone for the Fort Morgan touchdown with 9:16 to go in the first period. Fort Morgan 6, Fort Lupton nothing.
Well, I think Fort Morgan's coming out sending a message to all those possible playoff teams that we are not one-dimensional and we're not going to run the ball all the time. We can pass the ball. So what a nice play that was.
So Franny Gonzalez now to try the extra point out of the hold of Joey Snyder. Snap placement. The kick looks straight down the middle, and it is good for the 7-0 lead for Fort Morgan on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Lupton High School with Kevin Rohde, this is Brian Nickel. The Fort Morgan Mustangs have just gone up on Fort Lupton 7-0 after a 32-yard pass from Joey Snyder to Kyle Daniels. PAT added on by Franny Gonzalez. So Franny ready to kick off again to Fort Lupton. He gets the okay from the referee. He approaches. Nice deep kick again by Franny. It's going to be taken at the 5, across the 10, the 15, has a seam up the far side and is out of bounds Let's see where they go. About the 25-yard line, I believe, is where they're going to be setting the ball. Looks like 1st and 10 from the 25. For Fort Lupton, as they come out with 10 yards better field position than they had on the last kickoff.
Right.
So we'll see what they come out with now. They have a single back tight formation for Fort Lupton. As it's a pitch out to the right side, cuts it back up the middle, and he gets it out across to about the 30, but I believe there's a fumble on the play. We'll see what. And Fort Morgan comes up with the fumble.
And they've got 84 running the ball, and we don't have an 84 on their roster, so it's hard to tell who it is. But I'm guessing from the guys who ran the ball for him, it's probably Jordan Torres. So I don't see number 7 in the game anywhere.
So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs after the fumble from the 30-yard line. Same formation as before. Now Tate Kimball in motion. Going to be a fake to him and to Toby McBride. He's going all the way to 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Toby McBride over the right side. Kind of a cross-buck type of run as he faked to Tate Kimball going left, and then Toby McBride cuts it back to the right for the touchdown for Fort Morgan. Now up 13-0 with 8:51 to go here in the first period.
And on the way to the game this afternoon, we were talking, and that's one of the things that I mentioned that I thought Fort Morgan needed to work on is some misdirection. And here they come out, first time they run it, and it's wide open. Toby's out there with no one.
Yeah, they followed Tate Kimball, that's for sure, and Toby was wide open. So with 8:51 to go, Fort Morgan 14, Fort Lupton 0 on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Lupton High School, 14-0 Fort Morgan, as Franny Gonzalez just kicked off and got a touchback for the first one tonight. So that will put Fort Lupton 1st and 10 from their 20 for their 3rd possession tonight. So we'll see what they come out in any type of a different formation than what they have. It's been a single back with a tight formation, and that's what it looks like it is still, what they're still doing. Single back. It's going to be a pitch back to the left again, and he is going to be brought down short of the line of scrimmage as Alex Mai, and let's see, I'm trying to see who are there. Alex Mai and Austin Cosman in on the tackle for the Mustangs as they drop him for about a 3-yard loss back to the 17. So that'll bring up 2nd and 13 from the 17.
Not sure why Fort Lupton isn't playing either of their starting running backs. That was Medina, a senior.
So single back once again for Fort Lupton. Tight formation once again. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. He gets back across the original line of scrimmage and out to the 23-yard line. A little extracurricular activity going on, but nothing severe as they let go of each other and go back to their respective huddles. So now about a 3rd and 7.
Fort Morgan has to be extremely careful in that situation to not end up losing a player for next week because they get into some sort of flagrant foul situation.
They get ejection, then they have to sit out a game, I presume.
Right.
So 3rd and 7 from the 23, single back formation once again for the Blue Devils. Going to be a handoff over the right side as he tries to cut it outside, but he is going to be stopped short of the line of scrimmage. He may drop him. Let's see where they end up putting it. We'll give him a no gain at the 23 after that run to the right. So that'll bring up a 4th and 7 from Fort Lupton from the 23-yard line. So Tate Kimball and Kyle Daniels back again at midfield, awaiting the punt from Fort Lupton. Snap back, kick is a nice kick over the right side as it drives Daniels back to the 40. And he has a lane across the right side at the 50, the 45, the 40, the 35. He stiffs arms the 30, the 25. Couple of moves to the 20. And he holds on. He drops the ball. I think Fort Lupton got on it.
And we have an injured Fort Lupton player. He took a huge hit on one of those where he's coming around and the receiver or the blocking team comes up and catches him by surprise. But I hate to see that.
So Kyle Daniels, another player down here in front of the Fort Lupton bench, also on the ground. Kyle Daniels kind of holding his arm and a little bit as he runs off.
Right. The second guy, I didn't see what happened, but he's kind of breathing heavy, like maybe he's just worn out. He's a big, heavy lineman, and he ran all the way down to cover the punt, and then had to run all the way back down chasing the receiver or the running back, Kyle Daniels.
So after the punt, Kyle Daniels takes it back about 30 yards and then gets stripped of the ball, and Fort Lupton falls on it at the 20. So I think we're going to go ahead and take a short break here as they attend to this Fort Lupton Blue Devil. With Fort Morgan up 14-0 with 6:33 to go here in the first period on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Lupton High School, they're still attending to the injured player out on the field. He has been moving his legs, so that's at least a good sign. He got a pretty good block there on that punt return. I believe that's the trainer for the Mustangs coming out to see if he can be of assistance. So we're just not real sure if it's, because they're kind of looking at his right leg there a little bit, but we'll see what they.
You always hate to see anyone injured in football, but football is a collision sport, and it's kind of an understood thing about the game. And we're hoping this young man's not at all seriously injured, and they're just taking precautions.
So we'll go on here with the standings of the Colorado 7 League. Lutheran sits at 6-0. Fort Morgan 5-1. Elizabeth and Vista Peak both at 4-2. Skyview at 2-4. Weld Central, Englewood, and Fort Lupton all at 1-5. And tonight in the Colorado 7 League, Lutheran is at Skyview. We'll see what the other ones are. Vista Peak at Elizabeth and Englewood at Weld Central.
So just about 15 miles east of here, Englewood and Weld Central battling to see who's going to get their second victory of the season. I think maybe Englewood has two, or they just have the one.
Englewood is at 1-5. They have their second win. They are 2-7 overall.
Okay.
Fort Lupton is 1-8 overall. Weld Central is at 1-8. Skyview 2-7. Vista Peak at 4-5. Elizabeth at 5-4. Fort Morgan at 7-2, and Lutheran at 9-0. In the overall standings, Fort Morgan this year has scored 369 points and given up 71 points. Fort Lupton has scored 60 points, given up 306. Fort Morgan leads the points against at 71 for the league. Lutheran leads the league in total points at 418, with Fort Morgan coming in second in that with 369 points. So they're still, looks like they've got the young man stood up on the field. It's going to help him get off the field. They're carrying him off. He's not putting any weight on either leg right at the moment, so I hope this is not a serious injury. He is trying to put a little weight on the left leg. So I think we'll go ahead and take one more break and then be back with the resumption of play here on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Lupton High School, where the young man is being helped off the field. Fort Lupton runs their first play of this series, as looks like it is a no gain, so that will be a 2nd and 10 from the 20 for Fort Lupton.
And you had said that they are a running team only, and that's definitely true there.
So they come out once again, tight formation. It looks like they have a backfield now, I formation. Quarterback under center. As it's a handoff up the middle, and that goes nowhere. As that will bring up a 3rd and 10 from the 20.
And that's the first time they've tried the fullback up the middle. Number 7, Jordan Torres.
They tried him up the middle, and the Mustang defense was waiting for him there. Quarterback for the Fort Lupton Blue Devils is Elijah Vargas, a 5'8", 170-pound sophomore. So I formation once again for the Blue Devils, tight formation. Tight end on the right side. As Vargas under center. It's going to be a pitch back again to the left, and he is going to be pursued. He's going to be brought down well short of the line of scrimmage. Going to be dropped in the backfield. Trying to see back at about the 14-yard line possibly, so a loss of 6. So 4th and 16.
On the carry for loss. We'll bring up 4th.
From the,
and approximately 15.
We'll call it 15. They're going to put it right on the nose of the 15-yard line. So another punt here for Fort Lupton. As Kyle Daniels and Tate Kimball once again at their 45, or the Fort Lupton 45. Fair catch, but he is hit, so that will be a penalty on Fort Lupton as they run into Kyle Daniels as he attempts to catch the punt. So that will put the ball even further down closer to the end zone for the Mustangs as Joey Snyder leads the team out onto the field. So the penalty is from the 39. I'm not sure just what the penalty is on that for. We'll see how far they mark it off. That's a 5 or a 10-yard penalty. We'll see as the Mustangs are ready to come out in their formation. Now the refs are having a discussion at the 35. I'm not sure just what what the discussion might be. Because Kyle Daniels did waive for a...
Discussing the Mustangs' options on this play here.
Did waive for the fair catch and was interfered with. And bounced off of the helmet of, I thought, one of the Blue Devils. But we're having a discussion out here.
He wasn't pushed into it. I don't know what they could possibly be discussing. Maybe whether there's a 5-yard variety or 15-yard variety. It wasn't flagrant by any means.
He just bumped into him. He just interfered with him a little bit, but I mean, that's interference is interference. So I don't know just what the discussion could be. Maybe they're trying to figure out where they're going to have lunch after the game. I don't know, but maybe they didn't get that taken care of before the game.
Right, or they get paid by the hour. But I don't think that's probably either of those. I did talk to one of the fans here and asked them why Hector Chaviria, one of their leading rushers, isn't playing, and they thought that they had heard that he had been hurt and wasn't able to play tonight. So that kind of explains why some of the other kids are in there getting a chance to play.
So they finally come out with a pass interference to catch the ball against Fort Lupton. And it should be marked off from the spot of the foul.
Right.
And they're still discussing that. The flag lays at the 39-yard line of Fort Lupton.
Well, better than the last punt return, even though the yardage isn't as good. The end result is we have the ball. I'm sure the coaches are happy that Kyle Daniels put that kind of effort in, but after you run that far and you're dodging a lot of players, you need to start, having that automatic clock in your brain say start wrapping up that ball and holding on, because you're going to get that knocked loose.
I think what their options are, it looked like, because looked like they may be declining. It looks like they might either take the ball there or they would repunt. The way if I'm looking at the referees right. So pass interference to catch against Fort Lupton. First down for Fort Morgan from the.
And now
they're going to mark it off anyway. So
on the Blue Devils. We stepped off to 1st and 10 for the Mustangs.
That's a 15-yard penalty. That's going to take it down to the. If we can see where they're at, about the 23. 1st and 10 from the 23 for the Mustangs.
Again, special teams have provided Fort Morgan's powerful offense with an easy task, just 23 yards to pay dirt.
So as they get their referees in position here, we can get going and get a game back underway.
We're going to have to give one of those 3-minute warm-up periods for all the kids to do some stretching if they take much longer.
So Eric Kimball split wide right. Kyle Daniels left with I formation behind Joey Snyder. He goes under center. And now Fort Lupton, after all this time, Fort Lupton is going to call a timeout. So we will take a timeout with them. 14-0 Fort Morgan on B106 and B106.com. Okay, back here at Fort Lupton High School. We'll see if we can get this game back underway here as they had a conference amongst the referees. And then Fort Lupton decides to take a timeout. And you were talking about the warm-up period. The Mustangs are out there trying to do some jumping jacks, trying to get warmed up and stay loose.
We've had exceptionally nice weather for the football season this year, and tonight there's a little frost on the pumpkin almost. It's a little chilly and a little foggy.
So Mustangs now, it's going to be a handoff to Tate Kimball around the right side. He breaks it out across the 20 down to the 15. It looks like about it will be at the 15. It'll be about an 8-yard gain. So second and
4.
Looks like about 2nd and 2 from the 15. Going to be a handoff around the left side. He has clear sailing around the left side as he breaks the tackle at about the 5 and then goes down after a nice block out there by Toby McBride, just short of the end zone at about maybe the 2. So 1st and goal for the Mustangs.
21 yards towards that 123 that Tate needs on the night to break the 1,000 mark.
So 1st and goal for the Mustangs as they take it up the middle. And we're going to see he is going to be possibly short of the touchdown, but Fort Lupton had one man trying to run off the field, so they're going to be flagged for too many men on the field. So that will move the ball half the distance to the goal. So that should be 1st and goal from the 1 for Fort Morgan.
Toby's probably wishing he would have made it in, and then they wouldn't have had to worry about the penalty, and he would have gotten his first score of the night.
On the stop was O'Neill.
So now we're discussing it again. Talk to the captain, which is Trevor Gherkin. And I would guess they would probably take the penalty and make it 1st down again for the Mustangs. With 3:34 to go here in the first period, 14-0 Fort Morgan. And Fort Morgan decides they're going to decline it. I can't see. They may be on the 1. I can't see exactly where we're sitting kind of low, so it's kind of hard to see where it's at. So it'll be a 2nd and goal for Fort Morgan as the Toby McBride to take Kimball over the right side and into the end zone for the touchdown. I haven't seen anybody put their arms up yet. Oh, there we go. He was about 6 yards deep in the end zone, standing there with the Fort Lupton defenders, and the referees finally decided to put their hands up. So 20-0 now, Fort Morgan with 3:16 to go here left in the first period.
Fort Morgan's ran 7 offensive plays.
So Tate Kimball takes it in from 2 yards out. Snap is down. The kick is up and looks good, and it is good. 21-0, Fort Morgan over Fort Lupton. With 3:16 to go here in the first period on B106 and B106.com. With Kevin Rohde, this is Brian Nickel. 21-0, Fort Morgan over Fort Lupton. 3:16 to go here in the first period as Tate Kimball takes it in from 2 yards out. PAT good by Franny Gonzalez. So now Franny ready to kick off to Fort Lupton. Kind of a line drive kick, and it will go into the end zone and out the back. As Fort Lupton now will take over from their 20.
Blue Devil ball on the 20-yard line.
And the only time the ball's been past midfield is for the kickoffs. And the 4 of them that Fort Morgan's kicked off. Other than that, there hasn't been any plays from scrimmage outside really of the 43 of Fort Lupton.
Yeah. Mustangs are having another excellent game tonight. And I think Fort Lupton is probably playing well. We know they're at least one guy short here and maybe 2, so they're playing a little short-handed tonight. I backfield again for Fort Lupton. It's going to be a rollout to the right, and he is going to be sacked. And that was, I'm trying to see who that is, Richard Herrera coming in and takes the quarterback down at about the 14-yard line.
Vargas thrown for a loss, trying to roll up for a pass. Bring a
second and 16 from the 14 after Richard Herrera
17 yards
sacks the quarterback. So even when they do try to pass, the Fort Morgan Mustangs are in on him. Richard Herrera coming in from the left defensive end. I formation again, once again for Fort Lupton. As they hand off, coming around the right side, and he is going to be brought down, I believe, by Alex Mai. And that's who it is. They take him down inside the 10. So nice hustle job there by Alex Mai as they drop him back to, we're going to call it at the 10. So that'll be another loss of 6. So 3rd down and 21 from the 10 for Fort Lupton. Now it's going to be a handoff up the middle, also going nowhere, as that will be stopped at the line of scrimmage. So that will bring up a 4th and 21 for Fort Lupton from the 10-yard line. So minute 38 and counting here in the first period. Fort Morgan up 21-0.
Brings up a 4th and 22.
Punt formation for Fort Lupton as Kyle Daniels is alone back at about the Blue Devil 40, 38-yard line, be more exact. And that ball is blocked, and it's going to be recovered finally by the Mustangs. Let's see where they finally mark it. It is a touchdown for the Mustangs as the punt is blocked.
Recovered in the end zone.
And then recovered in the end zone.
And maybe that's why they had Tate up there, that they could send more people and he'd play that linebacker spot in case it was a fake.
And I think it was Frank Rosales, I believe, who got on the ball finally in the end zone. So the PAT coming up here for the Mustangs. Now up 27-0. It's going to be a fake. It looked like it was high, but they're going to try. It's going to be a pass to Toby McBride, but that will be incomplete. So I don't know if Joey just gets a little excited when it's a little high, but 27-0 Fort Morgan with 1:11 to go here in the first period on B106 and B106.com. With Kevin Rohde, this is Brian Nickel here at Fort Lupton High School, where the Mustangs are up 27-0 with 1:11 to go here in the first period. After the punt was blocked, landed in the end zone, and I believe Frank Rosales recovered it for the Mustangs. Now a nice kickoff goes into the end zone by Franny Gonzalez. So another touchback for Franny.
I was thinking Fort Morgan trying a lot of different new plays tonight and kind of experimenting. You know, it wouldn't seem to show a lot of class to be ahead 27-0 and kick an onside kick. But we haven't had to practice that in the game situation, and I could see doing that to just, give Franny an opportunity to see it in real life. But like I say, probably wouldn't go over very well with the Blue Devil fans.
Probably not. So we'll see they come out in the same tight formation. I formation for Fort Lupton. Pitch to the back as he is going to bring it out, I was going to say across the 20, but they pitched that about 6 yards deep. And it looks like it will be, we'll see if they give him.
I don't think they gave him any.
Well, he's moved it from one side of the 20 to the other, so. Second down for Fort Lupton. Same formation, I formation. For Fort Lupton is down to 30 seconds. It's going to be a handoff over the right side. And drop for a loss back inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. So nice job there again by the defensive unit of the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Now back at about the 18-yard line. That will be the last play of the first period as Fort Morgan Mustangs lead it 27-0 over the Fort Lupton Blue Devils on B106 and B106.com. Here at Fort Lupton High School, Fort Morgan Mustangs 27-0. As Fort Lupton will have it 3rd and 11 from their own 19-yard line.
Fort Lupton's, I'm sure the coaches are thinking, what can we do today to build towards next year and maybe give some kids some chances. But Fort Morgan's defense is just thwarting every effort they make.
So they come out with a T formation this time for Fort Lupton. As they now go left to right, it's going to be a delayed handoff over the left side. He gets out around the left side, and he is going to possibly pick up the first down for Fort Lupton. We'll see where he steps out. Now he will be short of the 30 as he has run out at about the 28-yard line, and now we'll apparently have another player down for Fort Lupton on the far sideline in front of the Fort Morgan bench.
We'll wait to see where the spot is.
So it's going to bring up a fourth. I haven't seen where exactly they've placed the ball at about the 27-yard line, I believe, or so. So they'll bring up about a 4th and 3 from the 27 after they attend to this injured player. We'll go back here a minute. The first Fort Morgan score of the game was brought to you by Morgan Federal Bank, a bank that is committed to their community and keeping banking simple. When you need banking advice, stop by and see one of their loan officers Monday through Friday at 321 Ensign. Morgan Federal Bank, there is a difference. Central Auto Parts, you need your vehicle and farm equipment to be in top shape, so make sure you take care of them by purchasing the best quality parts at great prices at your local Napa store, Central Auto Parts in Fort Morgan. Trinidad Benham, you have the option of selling your beans on the spot or storing product in their facilities for future transactions. Just give them a call at 970-522-3595. Pete's Farmers Cooperative have been in business since 1915, and they are still a small-town company that cares about each of their individual customers. So still down on the far sideline.
And I don't remember the number of the Fort Lupton player that was hurt earlier, but he's certainly up and moving around and part of the team again.
84.
So, was it 84?
I believe so. I think he was their running back, and he was the one that was taken out. So we'll see.
Right, you're
this
right.
This is number 23, Timo Medina, a senior 175-pound running back.
Well, if they lost the one and 84 is, I can't see him on the field. So maybe they took him to the locker room, and now their other running back is definitely not going to put any weight on his leg. So pretty quick they're going to be down to playing sophomores, and kind of feel sorry for the kids having to, birth by fire, I guess.
Yeah. So lining up once again in the punt formation is Fort Lupton. as it is a 4th and 3 from the 27. Tate Kimball and Kyle Daniels back at their own 40. And nice punt. Daniels calls for the fair catch. It's off his hands. Now he has to go down with it. And he will put a knee down at the 34-yard line.
Fort Morgan's 35-yard line, I believe.
So it'll be a 1st and 10 for Fort Morgan.
For the Mustangs.
After the punt by Fort Lupton. So 1st and 10 from the 34 for the Mustangs.
And the deepest the ball has been, it's cross field, and Fort Morgan's going to have it, at their own 34.
So Kyle Daniels split wide left, and Eric Kimball right with the I formation behind Joey Snyder. Toby McBride as the fullback with Tate Kimball as the tailback. It's going to be a handoff to Tate Kimball over the right side. He breaks the tackle and finally goes down out across the... It's going to be close to the first down. We'll see where they mark it. Trying to see where they have... Takes them a while to get this thing put together.
Side judge on this side is saying it's second down.
They're saying it's just short, so it'll be 2nd and 1.
Approximately 13 yards.
From the 43, I guess, after that run by Tate. Lined up again. It's going to be to Toby McBride up the middle, but he did not make the... Maybe got it back to the line of scrimmage, so they were playing for Toby to get that one.
Down play, the Blue Devils.
So they'll bring up a 3rd down for the Mustangs.
A loss of 3 yards. No, he lost a yard.
I think the offensive line of Fort Morgan should be able to move the line of scrimmage at least a yard downfield. But on that one, you're right, they diagnosed it and sent their linebackers and stuffed it.
So Tate Kimball over the left side. He gets away from one tackle and gets it out across the 45 and picks up enough for the 1st down. I don't see any, no flags, so it is a 1st down for the Mustangs after Tate Kimball takes it about
Curry was good for a 1st down.
5 yards out to the 47-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. From their own 47, Kimball right with Daniels left. I formation again for the Mustangs. It's going to be a fake handoff. Joey rolls out to his right. It's going to be a pass. It's going to be caught by Eric Kimball. Enough for first down yardage out to the... it's just barely. They're marking him back somewhat. But it looks like it will be enough for the 1st down after that pass to Kimball. It will be enough for the 1st down as they get it into Fort Lupton territory at about the 42-yard line. So 1st and 10 from the 42 as Fort Lupton has another injured player down.
I'm out on the field for the injured player.
Right, and Snyder 3 for 3 tonight for, let's see, about 59 yards and 1 touchdown. So it's not a bad night.
Injured player gets up off the ground. Number 44, Presley Miller, 175-pound, 5'10" running back. So everything tonight so far for Fort Lupton seems to be lower extremities injuries. They're being real tender with him, helping him off the field as the teams are ready to go, but they need to get Presley Miller off the field. And they do, so it'll be 1st and 10, Fort Morgan once again. Handoff to Tate Kimball around the left side, followed a block by Toby McBride, and he breaks it down to the 25, still going down to the 20. And he takes it down maybe just inside the 20. And as he takes it real strong, he is hit initially about the, probably 26 or 27-yard line, and with the help of many of his friends, gets down to just inside the 20.
And that's one rule that I wish they would look at and repeal and change. they've gone to where now offensive linemen can basically hug the running back and hold him up and make the pile go down the field. And I think there's a lot of potential for kids getting injured in that situation.
So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. As Toby McBride, we have a flag on the play. Maybe a delay of, no, I'm not sure what it was.
The
Somebody
left guard moved.
It's a false start on the Mustangs. So I'll bring up a 1st and 15.
Just a little bit of a flinch on that one.
5 more yards.
Wanted to get an early start.
I think he was pulling. I think that was the play where maybe the left guard pulls and blocks downfield.
Correction, 1st and 15.
So 1st and 15 for the Mustangs. Now as Dalen Mugenberg lines up wide right, T formation for the Mustangs. It's going to be a handoff over the right side to Jason Lenhart. He gets it down to the 20. So a gain of 4. So they'll bring up about a 2nd and 11 from the 20 for the Mustangs as Jason Lenhart into the game for the Mustangs and Frank Rosales. So Lenhart goes out of the game. Tate Kimball comes back in. So Frank Rosales and Tate Kimball in the T formation for the Mustangs. Snyder under center. It's going to be a handoff again to Tate Kimball. Cuts it up the middle down to the 15. And dogpiled there at about the 15. So that'll bring up a 3rd down. 3rd and about 5 from just inside the 15-yard line.
All of the play is 3rd down. Approximately 4 yards to go.
This game's going really fast other than the timeouts for injuries because neither team passing and getting incomplete passes.
So you have Toby McBride, Tate Kimball, and Jacob Fritzler in the backfield for the Mustangs. Nobody wide. It's going to be a handoff to Tate Kimball. And he is going to be initially stopped in the backfield, but his breaks that, and then he will be down to about the 11-yard line. Looks like Trevor Gherkin is coming up a little slow here. Looks like he's going to run that off. So they mark that at the 11. So they'll bring up about a 4th.
There's also the play of bringing up a 4th down.
4th and maybe
Garcia held him
4th and 2.
Hosts the Blue Devils. We're in on the tackle.
Now Nate Cage goes in, I think, at center for Gherkin.
So that is Jacob Fritzler and Tate Kimball in the backfield again for the Mustangs. The pitch back to Frank Rosales, So he gets a nice block, and he gets it across the 10 and down to about the 8. So that should be enough for the 1st down. We'll see where they end up marking it, but it looks like it will be enough for the 1st down to make it 1st and goal for the Mustangs. Yeah, we'll call it at the 9.
The carry is good for a 1st down.
First and goal. From the 9 for the Mustangs, the hurry-up offense. Full house backfield once again. Going to have another flag. So another motion illegal procedure on Fort Morgan. So that will move the ball back another 5 yards.
Yeah, 5-yard step off.
So I'll put it back
bring up
to the 14-yard line. So still 1st and goal from the 14 for the Mustangs.
14-yard line.
Yeah, it's Toby McBride and Jacob Fritzler, and I believe it is Frank Rosales once again in the backfield for the Mustangs. It's going to be a pass play. Looks to the it's going to be caught by Trey McBride at about the 3 and takes it into the end zone for the touchdown. So a nice play there by the Mustangs. Yes, Trey McBride finds himself open at about the 3. Joey Schneider hits him. Trey takes it in there for the touchdown. Puts the Mustangs up now 33-0 with 7:14 to go here in the 1st period.
Yeah, it was just a really nice play-action pass. And the guy he was first looking at was covered, and he checked down to his second receiver, McBride, coming across the middle and he caught it about the 2 and trotted in for the score.
So kick is up by Franny Gonzalez and good. So with 7:14 to go, the Fort Morgan Mustangs now lead 34-0 over the Fort Lupton Blue Devils on B106 and B106.com. Back with Kevin Rohde. This is Brian Nickel here at Fort Lupton High School, where the Mustangs now lead 34-0 with 7:14 to go here in the first half. As Trey McBride takes it in from a pass from Joey Snyder. Trey catches it at about the 3 and takes it in as a 14-yard pass. So Franny Gonzalez ready for the kickoff. As he approaches, we have a flag, must be offsides on the Mustangs. So a few little things here that they need to clear up as they head into next week.
And that's something that I haven't seen. Of course, you don't see a lot of offsides on kickoffs, but in the college game and the pro game, they let the play go and then give the receiving team the opportunity of having it re-kick, or if they get a good run back, having that advantage. In this case, they just blew it dead right away. Must be a high school rule.
So Franny Gonzalez this time has it teed up at the 35-yard line. So see if they keep people on sides this time. It's going to be a line drive. Bounces at the 40, picked up at the 30, the 30 or the 25, then out to the 30, and taken down at the 33-yard line, I believe. We'll see where they finally end up putting the ball. Looks like it'll be about the 33, so 1st and 10 from the 33 for Fort Lupton.
Fort Lupton still looking for their first down from scrimmage, and they almost got it that last time. That was the best they did, was to get to 4th and 2.
So Fort Morgan with their defense on the field, leading 34-0 with 7:08 to go here in the first half of play.
Looks like they're substituting a little bit maybe on defense. I don't see Tate Kimball out there.
So full house backfield once again for the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. It's going to be a handoff over the left side as he has some blockers out in front of him. He gets it maybe 2 yards. Let's see if they mark it out to the just short of the 35. Trying to see just where they're going to. They don't even do that. It's going to be back at the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 33. So nice job by the Mustangs to string that play out.
Yeah, and he was coming up, looked like he was doing well, and I don't know who came in and filled one of the safeties, and they just stopped him in his tracks.
So same formation again, once again for the Blue Devils. They try to get the Mustangs to jump. It's going to be a rollout here to the left, and almost picked off, but off the hands of the intended receiver, Isaiah Padilla. Pass was just a little bit out in front of him, and if Fort Morgan had about another step, they'd have been going the other way into the end zone.
Yeah, that was a risky pass. The defender there, and then he tips it, and luckily the defender was going for the tackle instead of watching the ball.
So Fort Lupton once again in their tight formation, full house backfield. Going to be a handoff up the middle, and he gets it maybe out to the 35-yard line. Looks like that's where they're marking it from the far side. So that'll bring up a 4th and 8 from the 35 for the Blue Devils. With the clock running here, 6 minutes and counting, 34-0 Fort Morgan.
Only Torres' second run of the night, or third run of the night. He's got 1 yard on 3 carries.
So Fort Lupton in the punt formation, but they will take a timeout, so we'll take one with them with 5:40 to go. 34-0 Fort Morgan on B106 and B106.com. Punt by the Fort Lupton Blue Devils is taken by Kyle Daniels over on the left side, and he is going to take it back down inside Fort Lupton territory as he takes it back to the 40 42-yard line, I believe.
And he looked kind of like a ballerina pirouetting down the field. He spun probably 4 or 5 times to miss tackles. And very nice effort by Kyle on that play.
So 1st and 10 Mustangs, they're going to mark it back at about the 44.
On the Mustangs, 44
I got to
yard
quit going
line.
by this line judge on this side. He's always about 4 or 5 yards off every time they mark it.
Well, then it sounds like he's consistent.
That's all we ask. So full house backfield for the Mustangs once again to Tate Kimball around the left side, and he is going to be brought down for a loss as he is drugged down in the backfield. Back at the 46-yard line, so that'll be a loss of 2. So 2nd and 12 from the 46.
Loss of 3
Great
yards.
job by the sophomore
Make that
Devin
2.
Garcia of
2nd and 12.
Fort Lupton playing tight end or defensive end out there. Just wouldn't get hooked and kept forcing Tate wider and wider until finally he could get an arm on his jersey and slow him down until the rest of the team got there to help.
So Fort Morgan now tight formation, going to be a handoff again to Tate Kimball around the right side. He gets a block this time down inside the 40. Down to about the 35-yard line. So it looks like it'll bring up a 3rd and 1 from the 35 after that run
Kerry will bring up a 3rd and short.
by Tate Kimball. Working on his 123 yards, but if they go up here by 40, I'm going to guess he probably won't reach that tonight.
All right, and I think we'll just let him keep adding yards as he goes on in the season.
So pitch back to Tate Kimball. It was a fake handoff, but Tate Kimball takes it down across the. There now we have a flag thrown on the play on the far sideline. I don't know what happened there.
Fort Lupton player pointing at Fort Morgan, and the official pushing the Fort Morgan kids back. We'll have to wait. Hopefully not quite as long of a conference as last time.
See Coach Chisholm over there on the sideline making sure his players are. Have a personal foul on Fort Lupton after the play, so at least Fort Morgan did not retaliate.
So we'll give Kimball 4 on that carry.
So that will bring up a 1st down for Fort Morgan after the 15-yard penalty. We'll take it down to the 16-yard line, so 1st and 10 from the 16.
Personal foul on the Blue Devils. Sets up the Mustang.
With 3:45 to go here in the first half. Fort Morgan up 34-0. Toby McBride and Tate Kimball once again in the backfield with Kyle Daniels split left and Eric Kimball right. Handoff to Toby McBride as he breaks it outside across the 15 and maybe down to about the 11. So that will bring up a 2nd down for the Mustangs as they set it at about the 11-yard line.
That time the defender was coming up and Toby lowered his shoulder and the defender just fell at his ankles and Toby was too low. He couldn't get back up to step over him.
Kerry was good for 5
So
yards.
2nd and 5 from the 11. High formation for the Mustangs. Toby McBride, Tate Kimball in the backfield. It's going to be another fake pass out here to the left flat or into the end zone, but well over the head of Muhlenberg in the back of the end zone. Or Mugenberg, excuse
That's
me.
incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd and 5.
First incomplete pass for Snyder on that one. It looked like, I don't know whether Fort Morgan's passing offense is sophisticated enough to have the receiver read the thing, but it looks like he read the play and thought that he was supposed to cut in, depending on the coverage, and Snyder read it as he was supposed to go to the corner.
Well, now we have 29 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock.
29 seconds and .10.
We started this with 5:20 on the clock, and I don't believe they stopped the clock after the incomplete pass, but whatever the time is, it's not correct. So now we're going to come over and have a discussion here with them. There we got it set. It says 2:22. I'm not sure that's quite correct either. We'll see what they See what they come off with here for. They do keep the clock on the field. So we'll see what they get it set to. 3:15 on the clock.
So what will Fort Morgan call 3rd and 5 from the 11, up 34-0?
Well, they're in their flex formation like last year, so they put somebody in motion here. Put Tate Kimball in motion, and it's a fake pitch to him, and then a run up the middle by Kyle Daniels as he gets the block out on the left side, and he takes it down inside the 5 and into the end zone for the touchdown. So Kyle Daniels comes in from the right H-back position after the fake to Tate Kimball, and tough running up the just off left guard there as he takes it into the end zone. The Fort Morgan Mustangs now up 40-0, and they need to get that clock to going, as it is 40-0 for the Mustangs. So Franny Gonzalez in for the PAT. The down and kick is up and good. So with 3:15 to go, and they can't seem to get their clock running here, as the clock should be going. It is 41-0 for the Fort Morgan Mustangs, as Kyle Daniels takes it in from 11 yards out with the PAT.
Well, we're frozen in time.
Good.
The clock's stuck at 3:15, and the score's still 34-0.
So if I don't know if they have a problem with the clock, or if they have the clock has gone bad. Apparently, they're keeping it on the field now. So they will keep the clock on the field as Franny Gonzalez gets ready to kick off to Fort Lupton. We do know that the Mustangs scored with 3:15 to go left in the first half of play, since that's where the clock has stopped. So Franny Gonzalez ready to kick off. Puts his foot into it. It's going to hit about the 15 to the 10, and it's going to be picked up about the 2 as they take it across the left side, and going to be short of the 15, as I'm not sure who that is, number 7. We don't have a number 7 on here, but the Fort Lupton Blue Devils will take over. 1st and 10 from the, see where they're going to mark this at, about the just outside the 10. I guess we'll call it the 11. So 1st and 10 for Fort Lupton, as the Mustangs have gone up 41-0 with 3:15 to go here in the first half.
One of the officials just yelled 2 minutes to each bench, so 2 minutes and running.
Okay.
Time for probably 2 plays.
So Fort Lupton in their tight formation, and now we have a stoppage of play. Timeout Fort Lupton, so we'll take a timeout with them here. Fort Morgan up 41-0 on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Lupton High School, Fort Lupton runs it over the right side out to about the 15-yard line for a gain of 4, so it'll bring up a 2nd and 6 from the 15. And now they got the clock set at a minute. So they're still having clock difficulties here at Fort Lupton. Quarterback comes over and gets his play from the head coach. Now heads back out to the huddle, as it is a 2nd and 6 from the 15 for the Blue Devils, as they line up single, as a I formation is going to be handed off up the middle, and maybe for a gain of 1 out to the 16. So a 3rd and 5 from the 16 after that run up the middle. So we'll see what, if we hear just how much time is left. They'll bring up a 3rd and 5 from the 16. Fort Morgan looks like they still have most of their starting defense in there. And that apparently is going to be the end of the first half. So at the end of the first half of play, the Fort Morgan Mustangs 41, the Fort Lupton Blue Devils nothing on B106 and B106.com. Back here at Fort Lupton High School, getting towards the end of the halftime festivities here, which is just basically the team's now warming up. They always put a 3-minute cushion after the clock runs down that is required by CHASA. Once the 15 minutes goes down, then they have another 3 minutes that they automatically put back up on the clock. So
Fort Morgan in their traditional circle, jumping jacks and stretching with Coach Chisholm. We haven't quite figured out what the key is, but he kind of runs around and motivates them a little bit, and then they come together as a big group and usually play really well in the second half.
Gives them that little shot, a boost of energy there, gets them, as you say, energized to get ready to play. So we'll see what Fort Morgan comes out with, if they try to run Tate anymore or if they're going to just not worry about that and come out with their second, their junior varsity club and see what they can do.
Fort Lupton has only 23 players left out of the 25 they started with. 2 of the players that were injured in the first half seem to have not made it out at half, and they have a couple others that are injured and are kind of limping. So I'm sure they would appreciate playing against Fort Morgan's second tier, although I don't know about the JVs. Fort Morgan's got an awful lot of seniors that have been with the program 4 years, and because of the talent, they're not getting to start. And I'm sure Coach on the last regular season of the year is also going to try and get some of them in and let them play.
That's for sure. It's kids that stay with the program, you want to reward them, give them as much playing time as you can afford to put them out there on. So
you mentioned something earlier about it seemed like all of the injuries were legs, and they got a lot of kids kind of limping around out there, like even the ones that haven't come out might have gotten dinged up a little bit, and not really sure why that is.
So 12 minutes back up on the clock, ready to get the teams back out on the field. And we'll see if Fort Morgan
as we get set
receives
to
the ball.
Half,
they were
I'd like to take this time to
supposed to receive the ball, but a lot of times when they're up like this, they'll decline it and kick off. But this also gives them an extra opportunity to try their kickoff return. So
and Fort Lupton's coaches were yelling for the kickoff team, so I'm guessing that Fort Morgan is going to receive.
So it just gives the opponents coming up here in the playoffs just something a little extra that they have to watch out for from the Mustangs. That's a positive for the Mustangs when they just put that much more out there that somebody has to concentrate on to figure out what they're going to do.
All right, Fort Morgan has plenty of talent. Looks like maybe they got the hands team out here, Frank Rosales and a lot of other players with small numbers are on the front line.
Let's see, Franco Rosales, Hector Luna up on their front line, along with Jason Lenhart. I can't see far on the. Eric Kimball stands about the 32. Tate Kimball about the 20. Kyle Daniels back at the 15. And kickoff going to go to Tate Kimball at the 25, out to the 30, the 35, still going out to the 45-yard line, and finally stopped at the 46-yard line of the Mustangs.
One of the Fort Lupton mothers yelling, "Come on, hit low, guys," because they all seem to be tackling high, and that's good advice. Maybe she can get out there on the sideline and help them out with that.
We'll now be using a running clock, so if you don't see the clock stop at any timeouts or out of bounds, you'll know
so
why.
Dalen Knapp does come in for the Mustangs.
10 for the Mustangs on the 46-yard line.
To start this second half of play. So the Mustangs 1st and 10 from their own 46. Is Elliott Wunsch in the backfield. Going to be a pitch to him around the right side, and he is going to get a couple of yards. Out to about the 48-yard line, so they'll bring up a 2nd and 8 from the 48. After Elliott Wunsch takes it for 2 yards.
Bring up a 2nd and 8.
And a little high on the tackle there. Could have been a face mask, but the official didn't see that.
So we'll see if we can get some of these players in for Fort Morgan. As we have Cade Bulis into the game, Jake Norris into the game. Let's see who else we have. In the backfield is Jacob Fritzler and Elliott Wunsch. Pitch to Wunsch around the left side. He is going to escapes that tackle at the 45. That's about as far as he is going to get. So that'll be, see if they mark it back.
Side. And that's no yards.
That'll be a loss back to just outside the 45-yard line. So that'll bring up about a third.
Actually, a loss of a yard. We'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Third and, I want to say 3rd and 11 from the 45.
Yeah, he gained 2 on one play and gave them back those on that. Well defended by Fort Lupton. And I think a lot of that goes to show not only the talent of the starting running backs, but also the starting line. Able to move the line much better.
So 3rd and 11 for the Mustangs. It's going to be a pass. It's going to be a screen pass, and that's going to be over the head of the intended receiver. So that will bring up a 4th and 11 from the 45 after the incomplete pass by Dalen Knapp.
That'll bring up a 4th and 10.
So Tate Kimball back in.
We'll see how freely Coach substitutes on defense, seeing as how they like to maintain their shutouts and all.
So Tate Kimball stands about the 33-yard line. Kind of a line drive punt, lands at about the 25 to the 20 to the 15 at the 5. Let's see if they can stop from going into the end zone, and they will, as it is down. Trying to see if that's Eric Kimball. Eric Kimball downs the ball at about the 1-yard line. So special teams coming through once again, as Kevin mentioned earlier.
Yeah, an end over end, not his usual kick, as usually Tate has really high kicks that actually turn over, which is somewhat rare for high school kids to get it up and have it turn over and travel well. This time he kicks it end over end, and it bounces down to the coffin corner, as they used to call it.
Eric Kimball jumps on it down there. So 1st and 10 from the 1 for the Blue Devils. It's a handoff over the right side. We'll see if he gets out of the end zone.
He does not.
And he does not. I was watching the ref over here instead of the ref. So they do get a safety for the Mustangs. So that will put the score at 43-0.
2 points for the Mustangs. The Blue Devils will be punting the ball back.
After the safety, so Fort Morgan will get the ball back after the punt.
We noticed at halftime, Hector Chavarria is dressed out and playing, so he's one of their leading rushers. We're wondering whether he was doing a 1-game suspension or something, because he was absent first half, and now he's out here, gets the first carry. But Fort Morgan's defense, smelling that safety. Anytime you have a team first and 10 at their own 1-yard line, you want to get some penetration, take a chance of getting the safety.
So they came up with that. I couldn't tell who was carrying the ball. We were just past midfield and kind of low, so it's hard to see who the running back was on that play. But punt is going to land at about the 35-yard line, taken by Kyle Daniels up to the 45, the 50, 45, and then he is going to be brought down in Fort Lupton territory at about the
runners brought down about 43-yard line.
43-yard line. So 1st and 10 from the 43 for the Mustangs. 6:18 and going here with the running clock.
And Fort Lupton, with the small numbers on the sides, really doesn't have too many people to substitute in. So you're going to probably expect them to let their seniors play this last game as well.
So Dalen Knapp back into the game at quarterback for the Mustangs. As they come out wide, one receiver wide right, one left, at I formation for the Mustangs with Knapp under center. It's going to be a handoff to Wunsch over the right side. He breaks it down inside the 40 as they try to strip the ball out. And he does get it down inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. So they'll bring up about a 2nd and 5 from the 38.
Good hard running by Wunsch.
That's 4 yards. Bring up a 2nd and about 6.
So 2nd down for the Mustangs as Dalen Knapp comes back from the sidelines with his play from the coach. As we have Jacob Fritzler in the backfield along with Wunsch. Dalen Mugenberg split wide left, and we have a number 88. I don't know who that is for the Mustangs, split wide right. I formations for the Mustangs. As Knapp is under center, tries to draw the Fort Lupton defense off sides, but does not. But Wunsch is going to go down in the backfield at about the 48-yard line with a flag. So I don't know if there was a hold there or if there was something on the personal foul. Had a personal foul face mask on Fort Lupton. So when things go wrong, they go wrong.
He lost 3 yards on that play.
Face mask is called in the Blue Devils.
Now we see why they were able to bring him down so easily.
So it'll be a 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. Once they get the ball set, the ref is, or the head coach for Fort Lupton was maybe questioning the call, but the referee said that's the way it is and that's the way we're going to call it. So it is a 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line.
I don't think it was an intentional. It was just in the pile. The hand got up there high on the headgear.
So 1st down to over the right sideline in breaking down to the 10-yard line. And I believe that was Frank Rosales.
Number 7 on the tackle.
See if that was number 31 that gets up off the pile.
I think it was.
I think it was Frank Rosales. So nice run down inside.
1st and goal.
And that's his style of running. He just gets after it and runs downhill.
So it's a 1st and goal from the 10 for the Mustangs as he takes it down. Just the nose of the ball is just right at the 10. So Elliot Wunsch and Frank Rosales back in. Rosales again over the right side, and he is going to go into just short of the end zone. Must be just about the 1-yard line or just inside the 1. But another, looked like almost the same play as it was before, just kind of off right guard, right tackle there. And it was open, so it'll bring up a 2nd and goal from the 1 for the Mustangs as they look to punch one in here with 2:30 and counting here in the 3rd period.
Fort Lupton's kind of shifted into more of a 5-3, and that leaves that off-guard play open.
So under center once again, and Knapp keeps it himself, and he goes in for the touchdown. So Dalen Knapp takes it in from 1 yard out for the touchdown as the Fort Morgan Mustangs now lead 49-0 with 2:01 and counting here in the 3rd period. So we get the point after try here by Franny.
With the clock running, this may take us down to the end of the quarter.
So Franny Gonzalez, they set the ball at about the 10. It's going to be another fake. This time it's going to be, I think it was going to be back to Franny, but Fort Lupton kind of had that snuffed out as he was being well guarded over on the far sideline. So the point after is no good. So the minute 19 to go here in the 3rd period. Fort Morgan 49, Fort Lupton nothing on B106 and B106.com. Okay, back here at Fort Lupton High School, the Mustangs now up 49-0 after Dalen Knapp takes it in from 1 yard out after Franco Rosales had done most of the damage on the run, on the possession, as they started from their 43-yard line, and then Dalen Knapp takes it in from a yard out. PAT no good. So Franny now, nice deep kickoff, going to land about the 3 out across the 10, the 15, the 20, and going to be tripped up at about the 25-yard line.
Brings the close of the third
tripped
quarter.
Up and goes down, let's see, about the 27.
30-yard line.
These Fort Lupton kids aren't giving up. They're running hard, and they want to have success, realizing this is their last half of the season.
So let's see where they mark that. About the 20. That's the end of the third period. So at the end of 3, the Fort Morgan Mustangs 49, Fort Lupton nothing on B106 and B106.com. Start of the fourth period here with a run by Fort Lupton up the middle. For maybe a gain out to the 30. That'll be a gain of, let's see if they get it out where they finally mark it. They will mark it at the 30, so that'll be a gain of 1. So 2nd and 9 from the 30 for Fort Lupton. Mustangs leading 49-0 here. Last regular season game of the year. So tight formation again, once again for the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. Under center is their quarterback. It's going to be a deep pitch out to the right side. Cuts it back up the middle, but he's going to be brought down for a loss. I think we have a flag on the play. So he was brought down at the 29-yard line. So we'll see what the flag is. We have a hold on Fort Lupton. So we'll see if the Mustangs decide if they want to decline that or take it. It doesn't hold on Fort Lupton, and they will assess the penalty yardage. So that will be back to the 18-yard line. So 2nd down from the 18.
Not the direction Fort Lupton football wants to be going in at this point.
The result of the play will be 3rd and 19 for the Blue Devils.
2nd and 19 from the 18 for the Blue Devils. As they line up again in their same formation here. Under center is their quarterback, Elijah Vargas. It's going to be a handoff up the middle and brought down for a no gain is the running back. No, I guess it's number 12, Zach Garcia.
Yep, his second carry.
So it'll bring up a 3rd down for the Blue Devils.
And they just don't really have any answer. They don't have a passing game. They seem to only have one formation, and that's with 2 tights.
So a handoff over the left side this time as he breaks it out into the open across the 30, 35, out to the 40-yard line. So Fort Lupton with their, I believe, first down of the night.
Should be close enough for a first down.
So we'll see where they put him down at. It will be out to the 40. So that was about a 3rd and 18. He gets it out to the 40-yard line. So it'll be a 1st and 10 from the 40 for Fort Lupton. So 8:46 and counting here in the fourth period as the Mustangs lead this 49-0. Full house backfield once again for the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. It's going to be a handoff over the right side. Gets it across the 45 and not quite out to the 50-yard line. They'll bring up a 2nd down and 1 from the 49. And now a flag flies on the play. We have 2 flags. So I don't know if we have some tempers that are flagging a personal foul again, this time going against Fort Lupton once again. So some extracurricular activity going on after the play. So they will mark that back 15 yards from about the 49. So that will bring up second down once again, except this time it will be from the 35-yard line. Let's see if they mark the ball at the 35. So that will bring up a second and 15 for Fort Lupton after the personal foul penalty. So Vargas gets his directions from the coaches on the sideline, heads back out to the huddle.
All the more reason to keep your starters for Fort Morgan on the sideline so that they can't possibly be goaded into an unsportsmanlike situation.
So handoff up the middle once again, but not much going there. Some more wrestling. Now we have another penalty on the play, so we'll see which way this goes. As they do get it out to about the 38-yard line, we'll see who it goes on this time. Looks like they may have been pointing to Fort Lupton again, but Vargas shaking his head, and I thought I saw the ref point that way, but we'll wait and see.
I saw one Fort Morgan defender kind of being pushed, and he pushed back and bent a Fort Lupton kid over backwards, and that's when the flag came out. So I don't know which way they'll go with this. Could be offsetting, could be one way, could be the other.
So we'll see which way they're. Personal foul on Fort Lupton. Personal foul on Fort Morgan. So those penalties will offset. So it should be a third down from the spot of after the run.
And about 12.
Is it against us again?
So that brings up a third down. Yep. Third and about 12 from the 38.
So Chisholm pulled out the player that was involved.
Blue Devil
I'd like to see that. Do a little coaching on the sideline and let someone else have an opportunity. You just can't retaliate and can't get involved in that.
So third and 12 from the 38 for Fort Lupton with 5:16 and counting here in the fourth period. Full house backfield once again for Fort Lupton. As they do hand it off going over the left side. They string it out somewhat. He'll get it back across the original line of scrimmage, and tackle goes out of bounds at about the 40. Well, we'll see. I'm looking at the referee on this side, and it's going to be out about the 42.
Mm-hmm.
So that will bring up a fourth and about 8 from the 42. So we'll see what Fort Lupton will keep their offense on the field.
They went back to that play where number 12, Garcia, got the nice run of 21 last time. This time the Mustangs strung it out and got him out of bounds.
So same formation once again for the Blue Devils as they try to pick up this first down on 4th and 8. It's going to be a handoff over the left side, and he is going to be well short of the first down as he is brought down at the 45-yard line, maybe a gain of 3. So the Fort Morgan Mustangs will send their offense out onto the field with 4 minutes to go here in the ball game. So 1st and 10, Fort Morgan from the, well, now it's back about the 30, at the 44-yard line.
Earlier I heard one of the Fort Lupton fans saying that the concession stand was out of hot chocolate. Now we see some of the fans starting to pack up and leave with 3:38 and counting on the clock.
So I formation for the Mustangs. It's going to be a handoff up the middle, but that goes nowhere as Elliott Wunsch is dropped for maybe a yard. We'll see if he gets any. He'll set it back at the 45, so that'll be a loss of 1. So 2nd and 11 from the 45 for the Mustangs. As Elliott Wunsch tries to take it up the middle and found some resistance there. So Dalen Knapp back out to run the offense for the Mustangs as Mugenberg is split wide left. I formation again for the Mustangs. Pitch back to Wunsch as he goes across the 45 and gets it maybe down to the 43. Now we'll see. I didn't see what was the excitement. I guess maybe the kid that was out on the field, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, it's going to bring up a third down in about 8 from the 43. For Fort Morgan with 2:08 to go here in the contest. It's going to be a pitch back again. This time Elliott Wunsch around the left side. He gets him down inside the 40, down inside the 35, and still goes out about the 30. So nice run there by Elliott Wunsch as he followed his blocks out around the left side. Enough to pick up that first down for the Mustangs. So, really. So Fort Lupton is going to call a timeout with a minute and 36 to go, with the Mustangs not quite at the 30, about the 32. So I'm not sure. Maybe they were trying to get some different players into the game.
Right.
For Fort Lupton, I can't think of anything else they would be wanting to stop the clock for. So
maybe just to talk to them about composure and finishing strong and building, and enjoying the moment. Even though you look at the scoreboard, you might not enjoy a 49-0. Talked to a former Fort Lupton player last night after we were here. We went down to a place called Holy Stromboli in downtown Fort Lupton. Had a great Italian meal. Talked to a guy who played his last senior year, and he says that he remembers the last thing of his senior year was walking across the field and shaking Jason Dreesen's hand. So you have memories, even though they lost 63-0 that night, I believe.
So a pitch to Elliott Wunsch around the right side. He gets down inside the 30 and then taken down somewhere around the 25. And Fort Lupton is going to take, apparently they figured they can't take it with them for the rest of the offseason, so they're going to use them here tonight on another timeout with a minute 20 to go. So that first down got them down to the 25-yard line, so that will bring up a second down at about 3 from the 25.
And it's nice to see Wunsch, the senior, getting an opportunity to carry the ball in his last regular season game. Hopefully he'll see some time in the playoffs, but you never know when you get down to crunch time. And so it's good to see him laying some hits on the Fort Lupton defenders and running hard and enjoying every minute of it. I can imagine a big smile on his face right now.
Yeah, he runs like he enjoys it. He's out there, and it takes a lot to bring him down. So I think he's having a great time out there, as you said. So he'll bring up about a, second and 4 from the 25.
Right. And I'm thinking Fort Lupton's about out of timeouts, but I might be wrong.
So Frank Rosales and Elliott Wunsch in the backfield for the Mustangs. In the I formation, it's going to be a handoff up the middle. Kind of bounces it outside, Frank Rosales, and he is stopped at the 25. He is gang tackled by about 5 Fort Lupton Blue Devils. So that'll bring up a third down from the 25. Still 3rd and 4. As we're down to under a minute to go here. And the team had started to head off the field, and Coach Chisholm waved them back out there. I don't know what they thought they were going to call a timeout. I'm not sure what it was, but 3rd and 4 for the Mustangs, as they're going to go in the victory formation and kneel down on the ball one more time. So that will bring up a 4th and 4 from the 25 as they have not set the play clock yet. So that will be the last play of the game, as the Mustangs will win this one 49-0 and look forward to next week's first round playoff. So here at the end of the game, the Fort Morgan Mustangs 49, the Fort Lupton Blue Devils nothing. We'll be back with the post-game show on B106 and B106.com. The Fort Morgan Mustangs post-game show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at www.morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC, here to help you imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goals. So back here at Fort Lupton High School with Kevin Rohde, this is Brian Nickel, where the Fort Morgan Mustangs have put away the Fort Lupton Blue Devils 49-0. At the half, it was 41-0. And scoring in the second half, Fort Morgan got a safety shortly into the third period, made the score 43-0. Then the Mustangs got the ball back on the next possession on the punt. Took the ball down from the 43. Dalen Knapp takes it in from 1 yard out. PAT is no good. Puts the score at 49-0. And that's where the scoring ended for the Mustangs tonight. So a nice victory for the Mustangs. Good way to end the season and look into the playoffs for next week. And I think Kevin's got a few. He says they're unofficial numbers, but they're the official unofficial numbers for the Mustangs.
That's right. First, defensively, Fort Lupton ends up 26 carries for 40 yards, 0 for 2 on passing with a 6-yard sack. So total offense for Fort Lupton tonight is 34 yards. Fort Morgan, same numbers as we had first half for most of the kids, and quite a few numbers for the ones that weren't. So on the night, Tate Kemble, 10 carries for 81 yards, 1 touchdown. Toby McBride, 4 carries for 36 yards, 1 touchdown. Lenhart, 1 for 5 yards. Rosales carries 4 times for 28 yards. Daniels carries 1 time for 11 yards and a touchdown. Wunsch carries 8 times for 20 yards. And number 7,
Dalen
Knapp carries it 1 time for 1 yard for a touchdown. Total on the ground, 29 carries for 192 yards. That's a little over 6 yards per carry for 4 touchdowns on the ground for Fort Morgan. Passing, Joey Snyder, 4 for 5 for 73 yards and no interceptions. Dalen Knapp had 1 attempt for incomplete, and so he had 0 yards. Total passing for the Mustangs, 4 of 6 for 73 yards with no interceptions and 2 touchdowns. Snyder having the 2 touchdowns. Those touchdowns came on a 14-yard pass to Trey McBride, his only catch, but a touchdown, and also for Daniels, also gets a touchdown in the air on a 32-yard pass, and then Eric Kemble catches 2 for 27 yards. Total offense for the Mustangs tonight, 265 yards. Another solid performance on offense, a solid performance on defense, and the third phase of the game, special teams, total dominance there as well, Brad.
Yeah, so looking good going into the playoffs. I know they're going to, as Coach says, clean up a few things. They had a couple of penalties that they don't want to see happen because that could make it, 1st and 5 to 1st and 10 or 1st and 15. So they want to be able to clean that stuff up because the competition will get better as we get into the playoffs, and we will be there wherever it may be I would guess next Saturday. Could be any number of places. So listen this week to John Beltran on B106, and he will let you know. We will probably know Monday, I would guess.
Possibly even Sunday. They might post it. I think they had the brackets up last Sunday for all the playoffs that are going on this weekend in 5A and then 2A through A6-man.
And I think they would probably have that on Chassa was it Chassa.now or Chassa.org, and probably Colorado Preps will also put it on there once Chassa puts it up on their website. So
and Max Preps as well. So I guess I would encourage everybody to get out. You know, it might be a long road trip to see the Mustangs play next week, but it's always a fun road trip when you're going to see these young men play their hearts out. And if not, go watch one of the playoff games around locally, because there's a lot of football left in the next 3 weeks.
that's for sure. And we'll remind you that Brush is home tomorrow at 1 o'clock to Moffat County, and Wiggins will be on the road to Paonia, both of those at 1 o'clock. So good luck to those two teams as they go on into the playoffs, and good luck to the Fort Morgan Mustangs as they will have their first playoff game in 6 years. See what happens come next Saturday. So
that's all she wrote for tonight, Brian.
That's it for tonight. So the sound engineer and producer of Fort Morgan Mustangs football tonight has been Christy Creighton. The producer for Mustang Replay is Alan Lance. For Kevin Rohde, I'm Brian Nickel. The final score once again tonight: the Fort Morgan Mustangs 49, the Fort Lupton Blue Devils nothing. You've been listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Good night, everybody.